Hello, everyone. Welcome to FF14. Today we are going to tackle the we're going to tackle what is generally considered to be one of the best raids in FF14. And that is the level 80 normal raids. The Eden raids. Once again, just to, be up front, I have ran these before. This is not my first time. This is my first time on this character. So, I don't have, I have prior knowledge. I'm just kind of running through these and recording them again. Well, not again. I'm running through and recording them just for the sake of having it on my channel. Having the videos of it on my channel. Today we are going to, for this raid, we're going to use one of the Shadowbringer classes, Gunbreaker. Mostly because I believe it was Gunbreaker and Dancer that came out during Shadowbringers, if I am thinking correctly. And I don't have Dancer leveled up to 80 at the moment on Rin, and I don't really want a new game plus these since I have to unlock them on Rin anyway. So I figure, let's do it on Gunbreaker. I mean, I could do it on literally any of my level 80s, like Picto or Bard or Reaper, Viper. But in this specific case, I thought this was fun. Obviously, we did we did Nier as Warrior, so it's not, we haven't been perfect about, doing the raid on the classes from the expansion, but it is what it is. Anyway, in the middle of nowhere, one of the Crusarium guards is particularly relieved to have found you. Particularly, not practically. I swear I have freaking dyslexia or something. I wouldn't be surprised, like 3 other people in my family do. Rin, have you seen Rhine? She's been looking for you. Wait here. I'll go and get her. Yes. Rin will be talking to Rhine. I am considering, before I level any of my, really low 70s up, like Dancer, for example, is 72. I might do a full playthrough of Shadowbringers. 1, because I've forgotten a lot, and 2, because it probably is, one of the best expansions. And, yeah, I mean, freaking, I've recorded both Endwalker and Dawn Trail before this. Obviously, I've already gone through it, so it won't be a first-time playthrough. But it might as well be, because most of what happens I've forgotten. Here you are. Truth is, I need your help. Now, hold on. I haven't even told you what it is yet. Ahem. After you defeated Emmett Selk, I sensed a strange concentration of light somewhere far to the south. In the empty, the lands that were once swallowed by the flood. Concentration of light? Can't tell what it is, but we have to find out. For all we know, it might even be another light warden. But whatever it may be, I don't intend to stand by and watch. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thancred, Urianger, and I have a few theories that we plan to test once we find whatever's causing this. The three of us were reluctant to ask for your help, considering everything that you've been through. The thing is, you're the only person who can defeat a Light Warden without becoming one yourself, so we have no choice. While we don't want to jump to conclusions, it would be a good idea to have you there, just in case. So, will you come with us? I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you, Rin. This means a lot. First of all, let's head to the Derrick in Amarang. Thancred and Urianger should have everything ready by now. Also, hopefully the volume's okay. I know I've messed around with it since, but hopefully it isn't too loud. But hopefully it's also not too quiet, you know? So. Excuse me. Oh, you know what? I don't have a mount on my hotbars, and I have all of my additional hotbars hidden to make it so that my UI is a little bit cleaner. Okay. I can just turn on the bottom one here. Then I can access the mount roulette. But yeah, I figure I might New Game Plus and see about, running through everything. I think it'd be fun, to get to play through Shadowbringers again. So I hope the desert creatures didn't give you too much trouble on the way here. I doubt they posed any sort of challenge to her. Would that I could say the same with confidence about whatever fiend may be waiting for us out there. Even if the light that Ryan sends turns out to be nothing of consequence, the Empty is hardly the most welcoming of places. Anything that could survive out there is not to be trifled with. Moreover, it should be reiterated that the Light Blast Wasteland poses as severe a threat as any foe we might face. In any event, we are in agreement that this phenomenon doth warrant investigation, though for lack of more precise means of navigation, we must needs rely on Ryan's innate abilities to guide us. I have formed several hypotheses regarding the nature of the light. Speculation is a poor substitute for first-hand observation. Of course. There'll be plenty of time for us to talk about it on the way. Is the Sky Slipper ready, Thancred? Ready to take us wherever we need to go, aye? Back again too, maybe, if we ask it nicely. Though the light hath been expunged from Norvant, the ambient ether in the Empty is still corrupted. Dangerously so, in fact. The flood of light devastated everything in its wake. The soil, the air, the water, all rendered incapable of supporting life. 'Tis due to this imbalance that the Empty remaineth utterly uninhabitable, even a century thereafter. That's why we're taking every possible precaution. Between the aetherometers I've packed and Orion's unique abilities, we should be able to detect and measure any fluctuations in our alignments. According to the Crystarium scouts, a few days out there won't affect us to any noticeable degree. Much longer than that, and we risk becoming sin-eaters. As we still don't know how Chocobos and Amaro will fare in the Empty, we opted for a more mechanical mode of transportation. This comes courtesy of the researchers at the Mean, who found it in the Crystal Tower and restored it to working order. It's quite safe, I promise, Person in charge said he'll have parts delivered from the Crystarium should anything break. He seemed quite eager to see what we bring back from the empty, even though I told him we're not hunting for treasure. I'll introduce you if we have a chance to stop by Moored Sock at some point. Anyway, I think that covers everything. When you're ready to leave, just say the word. Well then, shall we? Depart for the empty? And when they say the empty, they mean empty. Like, look at this. It is a wasteland. With a name like the Empty, I wasn't expecting much in the way of pleasant scenery. But this is downright depressing. To look on the land swallowed by the flood with mine own eyes. 'Tis a chilling sight indeed. Approximately 9/10 of this world are as this, a slate all but wiped clean. Were it not for the warriors of darkness in Minfilia. Right, are you sure we're heading in the right direction? Yes, I'm certain. There's no telling how far away it is, though. I do love her outfit, though. Nothing for it but to keep going, then. You two back there may as well take a nap. I have a feeling we have a good few malms ahead of us. I like how both Rin and Ryan's hair are just glitching through the freaking seat. Whoops. It's fine. I have to say, it's a touch larger than I was expecting. And is it sleeping? Oh gosh. Norvent, the Empty. No, it's waking up. Don't like the sound of that. Is it a light warden? No, I don't think so. Instead of being filled with light, it is light. The first Sin Eater. Long have I strived to unravel the mystery surrounding the flood of light, to discover what set that terrible cataclysm in motion. Every thread led to the same conclusion, the same single point. Or single being. I have reason to believe that the entity we see before us is the first Sin Eater, the instigator of the flood, the very foe Minfilia vanquished a century ago. She gave everything she had, and won. But this abomination could undo her work. Aye, the possibility cannot be denied, though it is oft said that destruction and creation are but two sides of the same coin. Fine, knowest thou of what I speak? The power to shape reality, to bend the laws of nature, for what was once shattered may be forged anew. It's all well and good, but don't you think we should give it a name first? Eden. Utopia in Fae. A most auspicious title. Now that that's settled, perhaps we should find a spot to set up camp. I even brought a couple of tents on the off chance. And pitching the damn things is something of a fine art. Does anyone fancy helping me? Sure. Eden. There she is. I never realized that putting tents up could be such a bother. Still, I'm glad that we got there in the end. Thancred should be back from scouting the area soon. Once he's here, we can plan our next move. During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment by speaking with Gulgul in Mordsock or Yal in Yolmor. Deploy the core! Ryan waits anxiously for Thancred to return from surveying the vicinity. Wonder what's taking Thancred so long? Do you think it's cold, or do you think it's hot out here in the empty? Considering that there's just nothingness. Ah, there he is. Well, that was rather uneventful. Not that I'm complaining. Did you find anything? No, thankfully. There's naught but barren plains in every direction, apart from Eden, obviously. I tried approaching it, and the brute didn't even seem to notice me. Thought it best not to tempt fate, so I withdrew. We should act now before it's fully awake. Meaning what exactly? When I think about the flood of light, I get the feeling that rather than destroying everything in its path, what it actually did was stop the flow of ether. Of course, that meant all of the plants, animals, and people here could no longer survive. They must have crumbled to dust in the years since. But the ether is still here, lying dormant. If Eden is the one that caused it, maybe it can get it flowing again. I don't know for certain, but I think I can use Eden to bring life back to the empty. Now hold on a moment. What makes you think that's even possible? And how do you expect to control that kind of power? Vine's aspirations may not be as preposterous as thou dost surmise. I believe Minfilia halted the Flood of Light's advance not by destroying Eden, but by silencing it. And in so doing, she hath gifted us an opportunity too precious to waste. Even now the flame of hope burns on. Aye, as Minfilia's successor, it standeth to reason that Rhine doth possess the means to exert her will over Eden. But such a monumental task is not to be taken lightly. What sayest thou, Rin? I imagine this is easier said than done. Yes, you're probably right, but I have to try. Very well, Ryan. Made up your mind. So, how should we go about this? I have an idea. I've been studying it carefully ever since we arrived. It seems to me that the light is more concentrated at a certain point. I suppose you could call it the core. Giant Talos had a core too, like a beating heart. It controlled the flow of ether. If Eden's core is the same, perhaps we could use it to restore the etheric balance? The theory is certainly sound. By employing Ethernet shards as beacons, mayhap we could trace the ethereal flow to Eden's core, and in so doing secure the means to teleport to the very heart of the beast. Thankfully, the Settlement Council has kindly furnished us with a plethora of apparatus by which to perform such feats. However, we must needs first have Rhine study the entity's interior and chart us a suitable course. Once we have reached our destination, I shall fabricate a means by which you may directly communicate with Eden, and mayhap exert a measure of control over it. You can really do that, Urianger? All credit is due to a dear friend, a gentle soul since departed, who imparted to me a wealth of knowledge concerning etherology. A moan breed, I am assuming, although I am certain she would be all too quick to chastise my methodology. Excuse me for interrupting this trip down memory lane, but I don't imagine that Eden will be too happy about us rummaging around in its innards, for want of a better term. In all seriousness, In all seriousness, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of welcoming party arranged for intruders. Perhaps you would best lead the way, Rin. It's true that she's the only one who can defeat a light warden, but I'd rather not rely on her any more than we have to. Yes, I haven't forgotten what happened when she absorbed too much light. But as Alice said, making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. Now, I wish I could put down wardens myself. The simple fact is I can't, and there's no point pretending I can. That's why I'm asking Rin. And perhaps I could... You already have a job to do, remember? The only reason this plan even has a chance of success is because of your involvement. We need you to concentrate on the task at hand and guide us to the core. Not only that, you'll have to keep an eye on Eden itself. If we somehow manage to make it angry, get us out of there. Are you sure you want to go through with this? It's what I do best. For lack of any better plans, this one will have to do. This is what I do best. I won't let you down. So we will remain here. Ryan and I shall do our utmost to guide thee along the ethereal stream. After thou hast breached the exterior, we shall remain in contact via these link pearls, courtesy of our comrades in the Crystarium. Being relics salvaged from the Crystal Tower, I fear they may be somewhat less reliable than those to which thou art accustomed. Quest accepted. And Eden's Gate. Resurrection. Now accessible. Oh boy. I'ma just say it though. This is kinda wild to me. Because this one starts with the primal instead of ending with the primal. Ryan's discovery of a vast concentration of light prompts an expedition into the barren wastelands left in the wake of the flood known as the Empty. There you encounter the immense and enigmatic Eden, the very first Sin Eater and a progenitor of the destruction that all but consumed the world. Rather than seeking to end this threat once and for all, Ryan hopes to use its limitless power to restore the ethereal balance of the Empty and breathe life into the planet. However, she must first gain control of Eden's core, which is likely to have countermeasures for repelling intruders. Oh boy. Hey, I do have group posts here. Do I have the camera emote? I wonder. I don't believe so. Doesn't look like it. That's pretty understandable, to be honest. Unless it's in here? Oh, yeah. Well. I do have photograph, but I was looking for, the other one. The selfie one. Careful, huge amount of ether rushing to the core. Wait, what's that? There he is. Keeper of Knowledge, Eden Prime. Nobody else is gonna take the main tank role. And I will. It is kind of funny. Like, I don't know, maybe Max Tagun over there is also new. But like, they had to have seen that I was the one in the cutscene, you know? So it's funny that they were like, oh, this person must not, because this person's probably new or whatever. Oops. I think they need to actually, like, buy a new headset. I think this one is broken. The right ear, the right side of the headphones, like, keeps sliding off of my head. It's super annoying. Oh wait, I have this. Right, I'm level 80 now. I have almost all of my abilities. So supposedly that's going to change in Evercold, because everybody is going to have all of their abilities by level 50. Dimensional shift. Oh boy. I don't remember how this part works. Oh, it's just, oh, okay. Okay. Freaking, what's the boss in, freaking Vanguard that does that? Just freaking throws like a million freaking attacks at you. Second boss, I just don't remember his name. Lag! Somebody else said that. Oh. Phase switch. Look how freaking massive he is. Or she, depending on how you want to view it. Oops. Okay. Is this not a separate the ads thing? Usually you want to keep the ads separate, so I was keeping it over there. But then Max just freaking provoked. So it doesn't seem like it to keep the ads separate thing. So Oh my. I freaking love this part. It's so ridiculous, but I love it. Fires us through space with a giant laser into the supermassive black hole in the middle of a galaxy that then explodes. It's okay, we only took 10,000 damage. Like, it's so ridiculous, but I love it, dude. They really went all out on this raid, though. Like, holy crap, dude. Like, this is easily one of the best raid series in FF14. Because it's just so good. And of course, you know, we can't forget that it's, you know, the Rhine and Gaia ship raids. Also, I just love this music. My name's Jack. It's just, somebody said that in the chat. Mistel. Apparently that was a mistel. Wow. Must have been something through like Whispers or Link Shell or something like that. And they thought they were on like the channel, but then they weren't. So, it happens. Whoop. And I was the only one in the cutscene, so everybody left. Which means I got all of the useless crap. It wouldn't be useless if this was the current raid. It's not. Seemed that Thancred's prediction about there being some sort of guardian was right. Thankfully, it was nothing that you couldn't handle. And I'm glad to say that you haven't absorbed any light either. So far, so good. Now that the way is clear, the Ethernet charge can send us to the core and back whenever we need. Why don't we give them a try? Seed to Eden's core. There it is. Once Urianger has activated the device, it's my turn. It really doesn't matter what type of material we take. Oh, hey, look. This isn't instanced. Because there was another player here. The time has come, Rhine. Somebody else was running through it the first time. Watch over me, Minfilia. This is supposed to happen. Eden is offering considerable resistance. Not now. I want him so close. Oriandre! I'm unharmed, but what a ride. No, you listen to me. I love her. Right, be careful. Whoa. There he is. Eden in full form. The Beast Fury has subsided. Well, I'm glad that's over, but for how long? One fell swoop. Ryan appears to have recovered from her battle of wills with Eden. It worked. I'm in control now. I think. You think? Although I'm now linked to Eden, still need to figure out how to give it commands. Pray tell, what caused it to convulse so violently? It must have been when Eden rose into the air. I'm still struggling to stop it from drifting too far from the camp. Even now, thou art... Right, what's going on? Ah, above us! Something's coming this way! An enemy! But how does that... Ah, could it be a Sin Eater? I can't see them clearly, but... No, that's impossible. What is it? They're inside, too. Lots of them trying to reach the core. Uninvited guests, eh? If I'd known they were coming, I would have tidied the place up. Tapes are a poor substitute for a viable stratagem. In that case, I suggest that you and I deal with the ones who are already inside. And Rin can welcome our airborne adversary. Ryan, find out if Eden has any defenses we can make use of. Preferably ones that don't recognize us as the enemy. Not sure about that, but I can use the ether currents to send you wherever you need to go. That's my girl. Alright, everyone, we've got work to do. From what I can tell, Eden is able to form simple structures by redirecting ether. So I'll try to give you something to stand on. When you're ready, head for that portal over there. Quest accepted. Eden's Gate Descent now accessible. I wonder where these two are in terms of quests. Whoops, the portal's over here. Eden's Gate descent with a party of other players. It's time to face the Voidwalker. Having finally overcome Eden in a battle of wills, Ryan is now in control of the enormous Sin Eater, which now drifts high above the empty. The celebrations are short-lived, however, as Ryan detects the presence of unknown enemies making their way towards Eden's core. While Thancred and Urianger rush to intercept a swarm of foes approaching from inside, you head to the upper reaches to face the threat from the above. Alright. Not quite correct there, but it's fine. Not quite correct there, but it's fine. Descent! Wow, we're getting into these like pretty much right away, which is good. Eden's Gate descent. Antithesis manifest. Voidwalker. Is it terrible that I've ran this raid like 10 times and it's only the last time I ran it that I realized there's a person right here? Like, legitimately, I never noticed it. I've only noticed the creature that's holding them. That, to me, is pretty sad, considering that, you know, this person is important. I remember the first time I did these quests, though. And, like, after the scene, they're like, hey, you know, we just rescued somebody from that thing. And I'm like, huh? Wait, there was a person? Legitimately did not see the knight that's right freaking there. Like, look at it. They're right there. They're not even hidden. Whoops. I was looking at the knight, so I didn't see the stack marker. It's fine. Alright, time powers. 3, 2, 1. This is the part that always gets people, is the time powers. Like, nope, no need, I don't want to stack yet because the clock hasn't begun. Now we want to stack. And that's important later because it'll do like stack, but also like this at the same time. And you have to be careful because it'll do like this one after the stack. So like you want to stack, you know? Two, one. I think it's the next time it does them. But yeah, there comes a point where it's like, it drops them, and it's like, oh, you want to stack first. Despite, you know, having freaking, you know, Doom AoE above your head, you know. But you want to stack. Everybody. Evil will not go unpunished. Yeah, I think this is it. Because, like, look, there's the stack marker. And now it saves. So now we want to stack first. But a lot of people here will forget that. And it's like, look, we get all these AoEs. But it's like, no, you want to stack. Because the stack is going to go off first. Now you want to separate. Whoops. I walked into somebody. We Gucci. Here is a look marker. Okay, so now it's taught you the look marker. Now, it's going to put a timer on the look marker. God, I love this fight. Oh, look. Now we're going to get a stack marker. So now the person with the stack marker really wants to get over here before it triggers. But you don't want to move too early because the stack marker is going to go off first. Because the AoEs are going to get stored. Now we separate for the AoE. I freaking love this fight. This is seriously one of my favorite raids, dude. Like, and I feel even dumber now because the Void Walker dropped the person. They're right there. And I didn't even notice the first time at all, dude. Like, they're right here. And I didn't even notice them. Whoops. God, I feel even dumber now. I love it, though. Friend, thank goodness you're unharmed. I came as soon as we took care of our unwanted guests. They were a stubborn bunch and quite unlike anything I've seen in the first. Oh, I won't let you. Because, you know, she's got a helmet on. Damn the light. Damn you all. Who are you? What do you want? Why am I here? What is happening? Oh. I must have just, like, completely zoned out in this entire scene last time. She's alive, but there's something stranger about her ether. She didn't seem too pleased with Ryan taking control of Eden, which may be what caused her to appear out of the blue. Beyond that, it's anyone's guess. 'Tis plain she is not a sin-eater, not even in part as Vothri was. Yet this knowledge does little to assuage my fears, for she is nonetheless possessed of a power most terrible. On the other hand, if she's feeling cooperative, she might be able to tell us more about Eden. I'll keep an eye on her until she wakes up. There's no telling what will happen when she does. But I'll make it clear that we mean her no harm. Well, no further harm at the very least. Obviously, it's not a good idea to bring her inside Eden. It's likely that reaching the core was her aim from the outset. So I'll take her to the camp. Sure. How are you gonna get there, though? Now that things have settled down, I should get back inside and try strengthening my link to Eden. But how does he get there, though? Like, it acts like he just, walks off to the camp, but, there's nothing. Like, we're standing on a floating platform. I have 4 rings, 3 boots, 2 legs, 2 gauntlets, 2 chest pieces, and 3 helmets. Now, of course, you need 4 of the chest and legs, I think, to turn those in. You only need 2 of each of these. And, 1 ring, so I had my hands full trying to control Eden. Caught a glimpse of your battle. That power. I've never seen anything like it. What thou witnessed was the tearing of the very fabric of reality, the creation of a rift through which Voidsent may enter. But pray tell, Vine, didst thou make any other observations? Couldn't sense any light at all in that girl, or her servants. I can't really explain how, but she reminded me of Emmett Silk. Though I think it unlikely that she's the Nashian, she may yet be thrall to Zodiac. Maybe we'll be able to find out more once she's woken up. In the meantime, I'll try to improve my control over Eden. Seems to be listening more than before, instead of screaming at me like it was in the beginning. That's not all. I've made an exciting discovery. Nor any drop to drink. Vine's newly formed bond with Eden's core has led to a surprising discovery. Didn't she just say that? I feel a lot more confident in my ability to control Eden now. Of course, this is only the beginning. And we shall accompany thee wheresoever this path may lead. But pray tell, what manner of discovery hast thou made? I understand how Eden's power works, and therefore the true nature of the flood of light. Yes, it affected the balance of all of the ether in the empty, shifting it so far towards the umbral that it stopped flowing altogether. The power to tip the scales. And to tip them back again. That's what Eden does. It controls the balance of ether over a wide area, forcing it from one alignment to the other. Left alone, it still poses a threat, but if I can harness its power, I think I could use it to breathe life back into the empty. The trouble is, I haven't the foggiest idea of where to start. And if I go about this the wrong way, I'll do more harm than good. Thou needst not bear this burden alone, mine, nor should thou. 'Tis no simple manner of awakening which lies dormant, that which lies dormant. All things in nature are inextricably linked. The elements maintain a fragile harmony, without which life cannot prosper. So, what should we do? A solution has begun to take shape in my mind, though it will require further discussion. For the time being, let us return to the camp. 'Twould be remiss of us not to involve Thancred. Ariane has a lot of thuz and shuz when he speaks, and those are extremely hard for me. I don't know why. It just always has been. Kind of think I want it more like that. And then what we do is visage capture. Although actually it looks like I need it more on this side. Although I'm probably gonna have to get a picture during the day in order for that to look good. I think that's too dark. But it's 7 o'clock Eorzea time right now. So I think an entire Eorzean day has gone by since we started. My friends, I believe I have struck upon a method by which we may see this world restored. Andre, before you go any further, allow me to make a potentially very long story slightly shorter. The plan is to control Eden and realign the ether with the empty. Realign the ether of the empty, right? In essence, yes. However, unleashing elemental energies haphazardly will not suffice. In addition, the empty is unfathomably vast. Were we only able to effect change over one small region at a time, it would take many, many lifetimes to complete even a fraction of our task. Instead, our energies would be better spent revitalizing each element in order, though we may set in motion a more widespread transformation. One at a time. I hate to say this, but I don't think Eden will be able to draw out a single element without affecting the others. For that very reason, we shall select a location in which the ambient ether we wish to restore is at its most potent. Even in a dormant state, certain elements will be more prevalent and therefore more easily manipulated. Then we rebalance the ether and return it to the land, whereupon it shall be borne on ethereal currents to the farthest reaches of the empty. But what's to prevent that element from breaking free of Eden's hold and causing a disaster of some sort? It must needs be contained. The question is, how? Vryn, indulge me a moment, if thou wouldst. Pray, Imagine a corporeal manifestation of each of the individual elements. What dost thou see in thy mind's eye? Surely not Moogles? Mayhap thou art afeard to utter the fateful word, for to even speak the name primal is to invite misfortune. Though invite it we must, as the ether is drawn forth and realigned by Eden, we shall perform a summoning as Master Louis Soir once did on the fields of Cotonou. As one who hath laid low countless primals, thy memories will shape the ether into a deiform entity, which must subsequently be dispersed in the traditional fashion. So, defeat it, in other words. But is that even possible? I mean, I am the Primal Slayer. I break my fast on primals. It's true. Lest thou forget, 'twill be no more than an approximation of a foe thou hast previously bested. Have every confidence in thine abilities, Rin. I mean, what? They can't be higher level than 50, 60, right? They're going to be level 80? What do you mean? As do I. So it might help to have some idea of what you will be up against. Have you decided which element to tackle first? I propose water, the source of all life. As for the location, an area to the west of Norvance was once home to the world's deepest ocean. Alas, the flood of light reduced it to a yawning chasm. Water? Yes, that seems like a good choice. I'll see if Eden can take us where we need to go. I shall prepare for the summoning. Thancred, wouldst thou keep watch over our enigmatic antagonist? She may have vital information to impart. In the event that she becometh agitated, thou mayest have need to restrain her. Someone's got to do it, I suppose. I'll be praying for your success while I await here, twiddling my thumbs. Still, I must say I don't envy you being caught up in yet another one of Urianger's madcap schemes. Though, come to think of it, if the creature you must fight is born from your own memories and imaginations, why don't you try to think of something a bit tamer than the primals you fought in the past? Perhaps that's not how it works. Anyway, best of luck. Vines acquitted herself well in this whole Eden business, but I think she needs to slow down a little. We're in no hurry, after all. It's gotten even darker. You really just can't even see Eden out there. Eden seems to be responding well to my instructions, so we should reach our destination in no time at all. Alright, this is the place. I'll see if I can draw out the water aspected ether. The rest is up to you, Rin. Memories of Leviathan come flooding back. Eden's Call, Inundation. I do like the way that they use this raid series as a way to like remake all of the primal fights. Some of them are really fun too. There is one that I do not like. Like, there's legitimately, I think, one fight in this raid series that I, like, fully do not like. But the rest, like, all of the other fights are so fun to do. Especially the fourth one in the series, aka the next one. I won't spoil what it is for those who don't know. If you're watching this and you don't know, though, I'm a little confused. Like, go play FF14. It's so, like, it's really good, dude. Somebody described it once as, you play through ARR, and you're like, alright, you know, it's fine. You get through Heaven's Word, and you're like, huh, alright, you know, I kinda like this. You get through Stormblood, and you're like, holy crap, what happens next? And then you get through Shadowbringers, and the game has just torn your heart out. I love that. Because it really is an apt description. Because, like, Realm Reborn, it did take me, like, three, like, start to play, stop playing, quit playing, you know, restart to kind of get through. But once you get through Realm Reborn, like, it starts to get really good. The problem is that you can't play Heaven's Word without Realm Reborn because ARR sets everything up, you know? It tells you who the characters are. It tells you what's going on. It's like reading the first, like, 4 chapters of a novel, except that, like, that's an entire novel, you know? And so it really does feel like there's a lot of, like, these quests are kind of basic. I don't know, man, like, it's alright, you know? And then you get into Heaven's Word and you start going, whoa, hang on. Something's here, dude, something's here. And you get through Heaven's Word, and, like, if post Heaven's Word doesn't make you fall off, which I'm willing to, like, admit, there are some utterly bullcrap freaking fights in post Heaven's Word. Some of the solo duties are just, like, nonsense. And so I 100% understand people falling off in post Heaven's Word. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. But if you don't, you know? If you don't, then it gets good, you know? And yeah, there is something to be said about, like, you know, so I have to play, you know, 2 whole, like, video games worth of game in order to enjoy it, you know? And it's like, yeah, like, I get that, yeah, and that does suck, and I agree that that is a problem. Like, I won't disagree with you. I 100% agree that that is a problem. But once you get past that section, you know, it's like, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is probably one of the best Zelda games out there. But you have to get through the first 3-day cycle. And the first 3-day cycle, if you're new to the game, sucks. Like, it sucks. It's so bad. It sucks. And I don't fault people at all for falling off in the first 3-day cycle, because it sucks. But if you don't, you know, freaking, if you don't, freaking, it's so good. Alright, well, this is taking a moment. I'm going to pause, and when the queue pops, we'll come back. Yay! That only took 25 minutes. Inheritor of the Wall, Leviathan. Alright, let's do this. I almost forgot. Hopefully this doesn't make it too loud. I'm only bumping it up a little. This is one of the better, like, tracks, so. I remember this time. Sort of. Turn, fine, turn. Whoops. Uh-oh, in the middle. I am completely off. With my crossing zone. I'll be close. Build it. Get close to the pushy person. The pushy person started moving. Whoops. Alright. Guess they made it so that that doesn't do anymore. Whatever. Ah! I didn't see him over there. I didn't even like see that one. I only realized it because everybody else was moving. Close. Oh, nope, somebody fell, it looks like. Freak wave. Or maybe it's temporary current. I don't know. Whichever ability that was, he was using it. Also, I really don't bother with burst. Like, I don't even bother trying to line up burst. Like, I don't care. I legitimately don't. Oh! He died just before he got it off. So, you know, if people are like, oh my gosh, you're not spending your burst right. Like, I don't care. It's one of the dumbest things in the game. And I'm glad that it will be gone when Evercold comes out, because frick it, dude. Nobody else can grab it. I did spend the stuff that I had. There isn't actually any gear here that I wanted the glam for. So I just bought and then sold, so. That was incredible. Is that what a primal looks like? Oh, not quite the same then. But why is that? The Leviathan of the Source was summoned by the Sahagin, to whom he was no less than a god. Without their faith, the deiform entity that we brought into existence differed on a fundamental level, though it was no less formidable. The manifestation relied upon Rin's experiences of Leviathan, may have been influenced by recollection of other water-aspected beings, leading to further discrepancies. Memories brought to life. Thank you. Whoop. Nope. Ah! I can't click. There. I don't know why, but like I was clicking and it was not working for some reason. But I still can't tell if our plan actually worked. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Sorry, I'm also having some trouble with my freaking hair ties. So, trying to fix that here while also, you know, progressing the freaking cutscene. How goes it? Excuse me. How goes it? It's over, you know, Link Pearl. If you finish slaying your primal or whatever it is, suggest you get back here on the double. There's something you ought to see. Alright, sounds good. What could that be? Evidently, our only recourse is to return to our base of operations forthwith. Ugh! Frick. Quest complete. White and barren. Friend, look. Water. By the 12's good grace, 'tis a marvel to behold. Never thought that a whole lake would suddenly appear like this. And we're just getting started. I only hope the burden is not too much for you, Rin. I got this. Where did this massive crystal come from, though? Like, that crystal was not there before. Super seismic. Rin and Urianger are considering the next step in the plan to reclaim the empty. I think this proves that the water aspect of the ether is no longer lying dormant. So, which element should we realign next, Urianger? I propose Earth. Should we succeed in returning the soil's life-giving energy, the empty shall be capable of supporting the growth of flora. Imagine that. Forests in the empty. But before we begin, I'd like to know how that girl is doing. Still sound asleep. She didn't so much as stir even when I took her helmet off. Thought it might be getting a bit stuffy in there, and I was curious to know what sort of person we're dealing with. She seems surprisingly normal, not at all like your usual void scent. I'd say she's about the same age as you, Ryan, perhaps a little older. Well, whoever she is, we should let her rest while we concentrate on the task at hand. As much as I'd love to go with you, I'd best stay here in case she wakes up and is feeling less than cooperative. And while I wait here wishing I had something to read, my thoughts will be with you as you fly off to face the next opponent. It must be a strange feeling to bring something into existence through your own willpower, only to slay it immediately after. I almost feel sorry for the poor things. All the same, I wish you luck. If all goes well, you won't be waiting for long. The sooner we get this over with, the sooner we can see the results. Now, before we embark on our journey, there is one question I feel I should ask. Where are we going? I would suggest a certain region that lies east of Norvant, which was once home to the great mountain Atlas. And for the earth-aspected primal we wish to invoke, what could be a more fitting choice than Titan? I don't think I've heard of that one. What's it like? He's worshipped by the kobolds. The landslides. The landslides. The landslides. Seems like you had a rather traumatic experience. But if our last battle is anything to go by, this one will be different from the Titan that Rin remembers, yes? Aye. It would be wise to consider the two as entirely separate beings. As such, thou must needs conceive new stratagems if thou art to triumph in the battle to come. Past experience will avail thee not, I fear. Not exactly. Alright, Rin. Once you're ready, we'll be on our way. He still does quite a few similar mechanics. That said, I definitely don't remember him turning into a car. Took a while, but we finally arrived. Ready, Rin? Memories of Titan come tumbling back. Cute. Tumbling, because, you know, Earth. Let's hope this one doesn't take forever to freaking queue for. I will say, though, Eden's core is pretty awesome looking. Alright, well, I don't have a topic right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pause. And just like last time, we will be back as soon as the queue pops. Yay, finally. That was like 15 minutes. Seriously. These last couple are taking a while. It's not even that late either. It's freaking 8 o'clock. Freaking 8 p.m. Hatter of Crags, Titan. Yes, he does have wheels on his back. Because he can turn into a freaking car. I will fall at least once, maybe. That's what the other tank just said. Whoop, wait. No, got it. That's just a part of the fight. You push. And the front. When you landslide, you stand in front. When he turns into a car, you stand to the side. If you haven't seen this fight, you'll understand what he does the car thing. Next time he does Geo Crush should be when he turns into a car. Bump. One's inside. It's a freaking car. Like, it literally turns into a freaking car. Like, what the frick? Greetings, friend. Oh, my bold went away. Oh well. I realize they haven't been like putting up mitts while I have the bone. Oh, there it is. And so I was like, I should put up a mitt, and then the bone was gone. So I was like, well, that was pointless. I love doing this as Black Mage though. It's ridiculous. Like, if you want a hard fight, again, dude, this is Black Mage because, you know, it's like Black Mage is like really hard to keep up your rotation while also like moving and dodging. And then, you know, you get this freaking fight. Whoa, okay. This is gonna hurt. Hey, I dodged it. That was a very forgiving snapshot. That should not have counted. And I am 100%, like, I would have been 100% okay with freaking getting wrecked there. Right, in front. Landslide. Got him. Paradise found. Such a fun fight though. Especially on Black Mage. Because it's just like, how do you dodge while also stand still? Also, I didn't see the freaking Optimus Prime over here. Wow. Freaking Optimus Prime over there. He was literally named Optimus Prime. Oh my gosh, I never even noticed. That's amazing. Whoops, greed, not need. Oh well. They're probably gonna roll on you know, assuming that, you know, either of them roll anyway. We'll go with the monk. Somebody hasn't rolled. I don't know who. I rolled. You can see. I've got numbers on all 9 items. I'm betting it's this one. I'm betting it's the monk because Robin's here, I'm here, the monk is over there. I'll be right back. It was the monk. She like realized and was like, oh crap, and ran towards the portal and left. And I was like, oh my god, freaking people. You can't go AFK right after a fight because there's freaking rolls. Welcome back. You must be exhausted. For a creature made of rock, he was a lot more agile than I was expecting. I wonder, was the Titan of your world a tough opponent too? You never stood a chance against me. Yes, if I put one foot wrong, I would have fallen to my doom. And I have many times. Especially in the beginning. So all it would have taken is a momentary lapse of concentration? I don't like the sound of that. But more importantly, you've defeated another elemental being, which means we're a step closer to reclaiming the empty. Can't wait to see how much of a difference we've made this time. Oops. Yay! Everything is rocky! Did we really do all of this? All the brown is back. Aye, 'twould appear that balance has restored. Twould appear that balance has returned to the element of earth. And yet, the transformation hath affected only the immediate vicinity, whereas the land beyond this lake doth remain unchanged. 'Tis passing strange indeed. Did we do something wrong? Though this falleth short of the outcome I had envisioned, 'tis plain our efforts were not in vain. Mayhap this localized phenomenon is the result of an intersection of ethereal currents. Therefore, it is reasonable to assume that similar locations in the empty have undergone comparable alterations. Then the ether will spread out from these points to cover the rest of... Oh. Fine. I mean, we've got to have some reason why we can't, why we have to stop. And we can't continue until months later. The next piece of the puzzle. Ryan appears to have been overcome by exhaustion. It's nothing. That didn't look like nothing to me. We'd better lie down. You'd better lie down for a while. No, really, I'm fine. Anyway, we've still got work to do. Nay, Thancred hath the right of it. 'Twould be unwise to exert thyself overmuch. I appreciate your concern, but I do wish you'd stop fussing. Fine, thou knowest not the strain thou dost place on thyself. Though the elements of water and earth hath been restored, continued exposure to the empty stagnant ether may yet sap thee of thy remaining strength. Now that you mention it, I've been feeling a bit out of sorts ever since we got here. I should probably get away from the empty and rest for a while. Pray do so. Meanwhile, I shall remain here. The restoration of the first two elements hath produced unexpected results that require time to analyze our findings. However, I must ask thee to refrain from discussing our work in the empty, even with our closest comrades. Why, I thought they'd welcome the news. And indeed they shall, once we have more to show for our efforts. Nevertheless, this mission is one of surpassing danger. I am loath to place our dearest friends at risk unless absolutely necessary. You have their best interests at heart, I'm sure. But to be perfectly honest, I'd prefer not to keep secrets from people that I trust with my life. I don't want to make a habit of this, but I'll do as you ask. Seems to me that Rhine isn't the only one who would benefit from a change of scenery. Our sleeping beauty would likely fare better in more hospitable surroundings. We'll need to have our associates from the Crystarium organize a safe place for her to stay. If you and Rin could go on ahead and have a word with them in Mord Sock, we'll catch up with you once Urianger has finished, or whatever it is he needs to do. Don't we only have one land vehicle, though? How are we getting back but leaving a land vehicle for them? Perhaps thou, too, shouldst accompany her on the return journey. I dare say she would be glad of thy presence. No, not this time. She's come such a long way since we first met, and I worry that relying on me too much will only hold her back. We won't be staying in the First forever, and the time will come for Rhine and I to part ways, and for her to follow her own path. I know you understand this too, Urianger. I see you trying to pass on as much of your knowledge as possible while you still can. And to her credit, she's actually taking most of it in. Rhine is possessed of a natural affinity for etherology, unlike some who shall remain unnamed. Natural affinity for staying awake during your lectures, more like. Though come to think of it, she doesn't really take after me at all. However, like thee, she is predisposed to brooding in silence in lieu of voicing her concerns. Says the master of keeping his cards close to his chest. Anyway, Rin, you'd better take the Sky Slipper with Rhine. It's true that she's been through a lot lately, but so have you. I need you ready for the challenges that lie ahead. So go on, get some rest. Sure, but how do you get back? We shall await news of thy safe arrival in Amarang. Right, but if we take the Sky Slipper, how the heck do you get back? It's just funny to me, that's all. It seemed like you were all having quite a serious discussion. I hope I haven't given you any cause for concern. Nah. Well, if you say so. I probably shouldn't stay in the empty any longer than necessary, though. So, do you want to take first shift piloting, or shall I? It doesn't matter, because we teleport. Phew. Glad I had you there to keep me company. I've no idea how I would have passed the time otherwise. Now that we're here, I need to find our contact from the Crystarium. But before that, I was hoping I could have a word with you. Something's been on my mind. This might not be the best place for it, though. Those creatures over there look a bit hungry. And so we return to the place where it all began. When I first spoke to Thancred and Urianger about what I'd sensed in the empty, part of me wished we could have just left it alone. I guess I was scared of what we'd find. That's understandable. But now that we found Eden, I know that I made the right choice. And if I'd given in to my fear, probably would have spent the rest of my life wondering what might have been. From now on, whenever I hear that voice inside telling me to run away, to hide, I won't listen. That's not who I am anymore. Even so, all the courage in the world is not going to help me decide what we should do with that girl when she wakes up. Do you remember what she said right before she passed out? Why am I here? What is happening? What if she's being controlled or forced to act against her will? Whatever the case, it's clear that she's not a monster. She's a person, like you or me. Obviously, she knows something about Eden, and we need all the information we can get. But more than that, I just want to talk to her, to find out who she is, and if there's anything we can do to help her. On the other hand, we mustn't forget that she's already attacked us once. What's to say she won't try it again when she wakes up? If she keeps us from reclaiming the empty, it will be all my fault. It's no good. I can't make up my mind. What do you think we should do, Rin? If Elfino were here, he'd talk things through with her. Even Emmett Selk had his reasons. We should at least hear her out. There's not much we can do until she's awake. I see what you mean. Perhaps if we'd been able to come to an understanding, things wouldn't have ended the way they did. I hope that she's nothing like Emmett Selk, but we won't know until we speak to her. Until then, I'll try to concentrate on the here and now. Speaking of which, I still need to see to Urianger's errands. People we're on our way to meet lent us the Sky Slipper and most of the apparatus we've been using. Since we've been sworn to secrecy, I assume the same applies to them and their colleagues. Anyway, once that's over with, we can find a place to relax. Alrighty. I do believe this is the last quest turn-in for this third. Now that we're here, allow me to introduce you to two members of our inner circle, or whatever you want to call it. There he is. That's Gulgul, who's interested in trading for any relics we find in the empty. Apparently, he mostly deals in exotic weapons and whatnot, but he's agreed to keep us supplied with whatever else we can't get from the Crystarium. Now, the ones we came to meet should be around here somewhere. Ah, Rin! What a relief it is to see you, and returned unharmed from your expedition. Sorry to have kept you waiting. We're gone a little bit longer than we expected. Rin, I'd like you to meet Luri. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As representative of the Settlement Council, I'm here to oversee the delivery of equipment deemed necessary to your mission. I will be on hand to provide any assistance you may require, including being the person that you talk to actually start and stop each set of quests. Actually, there's something we'd like you to take care of. It's probably best not to talk about it in the middle of the market, though. Alright. I'll take it from here, Rin. You should get some rest. But before you go, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. We still have a long road ahead of us, but if we give it our all, there's nothing we can't handle. And I do believe that's it for the first third of the raid. I see. Though it is mere supposition, it would behoove us to proceed with caution. Moreover, I would refrain from discussing the matter with Rhine and Rin until we know more. Well, I appreciate you telling me, even if it is too soon to be sure. I'm the one watching over her after all. The Oracle of Darkness. I pray it is not true. Oh. Oh. Hey, it's actually Yelfort. The Aura that we have to talk to start the next series of quests. So, oh, Luri is also over here. Oh, I bet he's the savage dude. Yes, he's the, okay. Lowry is the savage dude. Information regarding the work being carried out in the empty is treated with the utmost secrecy. To avoid it falling into the wrong hands, we limit the keeping of records and such to the bare minimum. Having said that, it does become rather difficult to keep track of the supplies that we deliver, so I've asked Ryan to provide reports on your activities. The first such report will cover the time from your arrival in the empty to your battle with Titan. Though, truth be told, I cannot help feeling that this was rather a large burden to place on Ryan. No doubt she has enough on her plate as it is. Luri, I did what you asked. Rin, it's the person I was hoping to see. Oh, is that so? Well, before we go any further, please allow me to take receipt of the report. And I hope you do not think it impertinent of me to ask, but what business might you have with Rin? Actually, I've brought something to show you. Yep, this is Savage. Tancred and Urianger brought this back from Eden's core. If you look closely, you can see images of your battles in the empty. Urianger seemed to think they are Eden's memories, captured in crystal form. Would you like to see? As you gaze into the crystal, visions of previous struggles race through your mind, with an intensity that far exceeds anything you have experienced. What's wrong? No, no worries. It's just unlocking Savage in my mind. We're good. Different from how you remember it. How odd. What could cause Eden's memory to become so distorted? Well, we've been extracting and realigning enormous amounts of ether. Maybe that affected the crystal in some way? Even so, I expect that we can find a use for this extraordinary artifact. I think I have an idea. Although it shows images of things that never actually happened, studying them may help us to prepare for the challenges we'll face in the future. Yep, no worry, it's just Savage. I understand it. Speaking of study, Arianje's given me a few tomes to read through before our next expedition. I'd best get back to it, but I'll be seeing you again soon. Eden's Gate Savage, now accessible. Voice mod didn't like that. That was voice mod being like, wait a minute, freaking, that's not how your voice, like, should work. So yeah, we've got some gear. I'm unlikely to earn any more of it anytime soon, as I've been working on leveling the individual classes. So I haven't, like, I've gotten to 80 here on Rin, but I haven't even, like, played at 80 other than, you know, these recordings. So boop. Fending and fending and bracelet and ring. There you go. Technically, that gives us a full set of Eden Gate fending gear. Not that we need it, of course. It's really just if we, you know, wanted the glam. Which, I'm not particularly interested in. But, you know, if people like the glam, it does look good. Like when you have the entire set on all at once. But, like, just the individual pieces don't really work on their own. So, and, I mean, you know, it works. But it's also not dyeable. And, you know, on Cassandra that would be fine, but this is Rin. And, well, if there's one thing about Rin, it's that every single glam has to be pink because it's Rin. So yeah, I can't dye it, so it's completely useless to Rin. So with that, I think I will do what I usually do and split this into 3 parts. You know, just like I have with the others. So when we come back, we will continue the second, third of the raid. I almost said second half. The second third of the raid. So if you want to see that, come on out, or not, well, these are pre-recorded, so I was going to say come on out, twitch.tv/TheRaidInc. But these are pre-recorded things, so because of the moving. So feel free to subscribe. Check the playlist for the rest of the series, basically. You can come out to twitch.tv/SereneInc and watch the streams live. Probably once, June hits. Because, again, we're doing a lot of moving. So, yeah. I guess for that, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!